Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hi, this is Jackie Kashian. Welcome to the Dork Forest. Guess what? It's June, and we have a sponsor, and the sponsor is TiVo. And if you don't know about TiVo, well, that's odd to me, because Patton Oswalt did a joke about it 1,000,000 years ago, because TiVo was the first DVR, as far as I could tell. And it was about how it was the greatest gift he had ever received. Greater even than the gift of life. I'm going to put a link to that joke in the notes. Anyway, but before TiVo, you had to watch TV when it was on. You had to VHS record it, possibly. You might remember those days. But if you missed it or part of it, you had to wait for reruns until you saw it again. So TiVo, it changed all that. And there are other DVRs, but TiVo is clearly the best. TiVo makes TV 1,000 times better. That's their slogan. I believe it. I'm excited about TiVo, quite honestly. But TiVo has TiVo Stream, where you can watch it on your iPad or all over the house, right? You can transfer your favorite recordings and take them with you, like on airplanes and buses and not in your car. Please don't watch television in your car. TiVo is also the only one that searches both cable and the web to find any movie, any show, any video at the press of a button, right? Including YouTube, like Netflix, Hulu Plus, Amazon, YouTube. Now they're just like more channels on your TV. And TiVo Mini makes your TiVo box work on a second TV in your house. So that is the TiVo ad. And I'm excited that TiVo sponsor the Dork Forest this month. And I'm going to get a TiVo dork, and we're going to do an episode. Hello and welcome to the Dork Forest. This is Jackie Kashian, who just pressed record. Huh? Who doesn't love that? Welcome to the program, Tracey Ashley.
Hey.
How the hell are you?
They missed it. Michelle Obama was here. You didn't record that.
TraceyAshley.com, Tracey. Ashley.
That's
Tracy
right.
with an E.
That's right.
And,
two first names.
That two first names, which is going to be on your, why don't you call your new album?
You know what? Maybe that's what I should call it. I've been trying to come up with some clever, title. Maybe that's it, because that's constantly what I get all the time.
Right, because people are constantly letting you in on the fact.
All the time. And it's funny, I've been doing shows here.
Because your first name's Tracy, and then your last name is Ashley, which are actually two first names.
And people, but Jackie, it's amazing. It's 2013. I'm not kidding you. People still constantly tell me all the time, oh, two first names. It's like, it's really annoying after a while.
Well, Mike Rickberg composed and sings the theme to the show.
Yeah.
Andy always goes, he's a man with two first names. And I was like, yeah, but Rickberg, nobody's naming their kid Rickberg Anderson.
No.
Mike Rickberg.
So I guess, Anderson is a first name. Yeah, I forgot about the Anderson Cooper. That's the first name.
Oh, Anderson Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Both of those things are, Tracey Ashley are genuinely two first names.
Right.
And two first names would be a pretty good name for a first album.
I like that.
As a mnemonic.
Jackie, I think you just hit the nail on the head. I think that's exactly what I was trying to come up with something so clever, but it's right in my face. I like that.
Yeah, I do too, actually. And it'll come out this summer, hopefully.
That's right. I think that's the title, Two First Names.
Two first names, Tracey Ashley. You heard it here first. Dorks, Ragers, well played. Okay, I've been saying well played a lot.
I like that, though.
I don't know what to do with that, except for just embrace it.
Well, it's all a matter of when you say well played. Like, what are you saying well played for?
I don't know. Because oftentimes nobody's playing.
Right.
Nobody's doing anything.
That's true.
There's no game. So, all right. So, but your dorkdom, I come home, Andy is like, she's on 3 different platforms playing this game. She's checking it at least 3 or 4 times a day, and she's walking around with it, and she talks about it on a regular basis.
That's right.
You play the game The Sims.
The Sims.
Who knew it was still around?
I did not know. It's the funny story about The Sims for me is this my personal journey with it. Years and years ago, I played The Sims on a friend's computer.
Okay.
And I got it for myself, and I was playing it at home, and one of my ladies, the mother, she kept dying because in the kitchen she'd cook something and then the kitchen would blow up. Like there'd be a fire. And then she would be dead. And then, I didn't know what to do at the time. I didn't realize, one, you got to get these people jobs. They have to have an income.
Okay.
I had to buy a fire extinguisher. I didn't have any of those things. I didn't know what to do. She's waving her hands. She's like, there's a fire.
It's almost like you were raised in a Sims like by wolves.
Yeah, like a pack of wild wolves. I didn't know anything. I didn't know any better. then what was I emotionally got involved. I was so sad.
Sure.
So I restart the game like that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. Second time, same thing. That kept being a fire. And then the husband, like I try to get him to be happy, and then the Sims will look at you and be like, "No, I'm not happy. My wife is dead. I'm not happy." And then they buried her in the backyard. It was all
like a
horrible.
dog, like Richard Nixon, like both of those.
I don't know
kinds of
what they were
people?
thinking, but I didn't play it again for years
Because you were traumatized?
I was distraught by what I had done, and I felt guilty. That's crazy, right?
Right, but real.
And
Yeah.
I really felt bad. So years later, I saw it on, it was an app at the iPad, for the iPad.
Right.
I bought it, and I was like, well, let me check this out. And it's so much better now. They've got the fires under control.
Are there instructions? One would imagine.
There are instructions. They do tell you things about how it all operates.
Right. So could you have years ago when you had when you killed the lady?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a support group. I killed my Sims family.
There probably is a group.
Yeah.
An essay meeting, Sims Anonymous, or something like that.
What happened was we let the dog out too long, and I forgot to give him water or food.
That happens. That happens. I probably should have read the instructions. I remember my good friend Maggie Ferris. She had it on her computer.
Minneapolis comic.
She had it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she knew she had it all down. All her people had big houses. See, I still had one house. I didn't have any neighbors yet. She had a whole town. Oh. And I thought, you know what? You're an idiot. You can't even figure this out. So I left. I thought it was for the smart people. I was like, I'm going to leave this game alone.
Right.
Years later, it's on the iPad. It's all touch screen.
Yeah.
Which is very easy.
Right.
And, now I have.
Much more interactive.
And the graphics are fantastic. I have, 22 people now in my town. My town's worth.
Do you have to boss all those 22 people around?
I control their lives. They have, some of them have kids, some of them are engaged, some of them are fighting, they don't really like each other, and it's so cool because and as you play the game, it starts off very basic and simple.
Have you been playing for a couple of years now?
Jackie, I don't know I think I have. I don't know how long. That's how involved I've gotten. I can't remember when I started again.
Who were your first people? Did you get to pick your people? Do you pick your avatars?
Yeah, the game starts, and you get a house. You pick a house.
Okay.
And a person pops up.
Right.
And my first person I think it was a guy, but I changed it to a woman.
Okay.
I wanted to start with the woman. Mm-hmm. And so I started with her, and then then I got another guy. I bought him a house. And then they got married.
Did they get married because they were essentially Adam and Eve?
Yeah,
and you're like,
they
we're
got
just
married.
Gonna have to.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Can you get Adam and Steve? Could Adam and Steve?
Yeah, you can make your town however you want to make your town.
Okay.
I have all kinds of people married. I'm gonna put a gay couple. I've decided, but I'm not sure where.
Where?
I'm putting them in this new area that they just designed. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put the first gay couple right here.
Right. It's a new development.
That's
it's
right.
on the edge of town.
It is a new development. It actually is a new development, and I had to get a real estate agent. I'm not kidding you. Her name is Mercedes Baker. She is the real estate agent. And
Do you name her?
Yeah, Mercedes.
You named her Mercedes?
I just thought it'd be
funny.
funny.
You just met my friend Rebecca?
Yeah.
Her sister's name was Mercedes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought that's a good name. I've got another lady.
45-year-old woman named Mercedes.
Well, I think my lady's, she's about 40s in my game.
Okay.
She's about 40s, and she's now the CEO of the real estate agency.
All right. It's going well.
And then I have an actress. Her name is Sukiyaki Treehorn. Yeah. I just thought that'd be a good combination. You can do anything. I even have a guy, Dexter. Mm-hmm. And Dexter's kind of the reggae guy.
He's a reggae guy.
He's got dreads in his hair, and all he does is he grows plants.
Oh, does he?
And that's all I'm going to say.
That's all you're going to say. Well, at least he isn't a murderer.
Right.
So,
no, there's nothing like that in my town.
Do people do that? Can you do that? Can you get creepy town?
I do believe, okay, I have to say, my mother-in-law purchased the computer game for me, the desktop game.
Okay.
Now that one, I believe you can do a lot more with it.
Okay.
Because they can age on that game. They can be heavier. They can be smaller.
Okay.
This game, they kind of slimmed it down for the iPad.
So it's just a smaller game.
Smaller game, but
But 22 people, and you've been playing it for over a year.
Yep, and that includes toddlers, babies, infants, all of that. Everybody has a dog. They all have dogs. They have cats. You got to take care of the dogs and cats. You got to fill their bowls. I haven't experienced that yet. I'm wondering if on the desktop. No, I haven't lost anyone. I have not. I deleted one guy. I didn't like him.
Oh, you're please move.
Yeah, he had no purpose. So I got rid of him. But it's really cool about this game. They have really thought this out, and they know how to get people so into it, because all these role-playing games are just so so popular, but you really get involved in your town. So I've been noticing on my game, more things get added every time I move up a level.
Okay.
Like right now, there's a spaceship that keeps flying across my town.
Yesterday you were losing your mind because the
I'm
UFO.
still losing my mind.
There's
It's a UFO, and I don't know what is going on. So I Google, like everybody does, and I was like, what's happening with this spaceship? And tons of people are asking the same question, and they're just saying it's a special, there'll be a special announcement.
Oh.
Now I'm really more excited about this. You know what I mean? You get so involved.
Initially you were like, okay, one of my people are going to get stolen.
That's what I felt like. I feel like that. I put him in the house because I was like, if they,
everybody's going in the house.
Somebody was going to get abducted. That's
Nobody's
what I thought.
in the yard. Stay in your house.
And I had Dexter in the yard because he's always planting. And I was like, I had to wrap up Dexter's planting. See, and you can when you have them do things, you get money, you get points for things that they complete.
Okay.
And
in-game currency kind of thing.
Yes,
okay.
and you can make them complete it right away if you want, but then you lose those points.
Okay,
that
you
you
use
have.
them up.
You use them up, so you don't want to do that. So it's in real time. So when you send Darren, my son, Darren Jackson, my son, I don't have a son, but in the game I do. I send Darren to school. He goes to school from 12 to 5. And when around 5 o'clock, I check my iPad because Darren's out of school. And I want him to get a little snack. I don't want him to ruin his dinner. Sometimes he ruins his dinner. There is an option to ruin your dinner. It's awesome. I'm like, he's got to call his grandmother. I make him call grandma. It's on there. Call grandma. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. He just goes, hi, grandma. Yeah, I got to go.
30 seconds. Well, here's the great thing. They don't speak our language. They speak Sembla's language.
Okay, so it's just a bunch of hashtags or whatever, hash
totally.
marks?
It's just like a ha, stuff like that they say. And after a certain point, as a matter of fact, when people are dating, they get to a point where they can woohoo.
Oh, which is sex.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
They call it woohoo.
Yeah.
So you click woohoo, and then it pixelates out the two of them.
Yes.
And you just hear them going, ah.
Okay, so when I first heard of this game, I had never played it myself, because I was mostly playing my Game Boy, because I was on the road a lot, and that's all I had. Right. Some people will travel with an Xbox. Chris Hardwick will travel with an Xbox.
I know many comics who do that.
Yeah, and we have a PS3 and we have a Wii, but I'm not schlepping.
Yeah.
I don't even want to schlep this board so I can do Dork Forest.
I know. It's enough, right?
Patrick Brady. He would love it if I would. Hey, guess what? There's someone at the
This
damn
is so
door.
Awesome.
It's
I saw him walking up.
We're recording at this time. I gotta go. And then
What is that about?
it's just some guy flyering for an event, but he can see in the window that we are standing here.
Yeah, he didn't
and then
care.
of course the washer dryer went off in the midst of
Is
it.
that what that noise was? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think I'm doing laundry. Okay. That was me.
Well, a lot of people come over to do the podcast. They bring their laundry.
I think this should be Grand Central Station right here. People should come by. You should just let people come through. You should let comics come out and hang out, and because you guys take care of us so well.
Well, Kyle Kinane did the show one time, and he ended up staying and playing Mortal Kombat DC Universe with me for like 4 hours and drinking like the 9 beers that someone had left in my fridge.
You feel at home here.
Yeah, it's
And by the way, Jackie makes the best mac and cheese. I just want to put that out there.
I could put that. I may have already put that mac and cheese recipe on the web, but I could put it out again. It'll be in the notes.
It's excellent. It's excellent. I'm gonna bake that
It's
while
a
I'm
sharp
playing
cheddar and a
my
Gruyere.
Sims. Now I bet you. I wish I could make them make macaroni and cheese. That's gonna come up next.
Can they cook?
Yeah, they can cook. Yeah, you can go to the grocery store. They can bake cookies.
Okay.
They make waffles. They make the best croissants. They make that.
How do we know that they make the best croissants?
Because everybody loves them in the Sims town.
Whenever you choose to make croissants,
Well, they tell you.
kind of goes crazy.
They'll tell you everybody loves croissants. Make some.
Oh, okay.
So you go make
So there's
them.
tasks that the game will give you?
Of course, yeah. There are tasks they'll give you, and that keeps you busy, and it gives you gain more points and more money, so you can buy stuff.
And what are you buying?
Well,
in-game.
You buy when you want to decorate your house. You can buy the floor plan. You can buy wood floors. You can put carpet down.
Okay.
You can put wallpaper
Tiles.
up. You can paint your walls.
Okay.
The certain doors, the windows, everything costs. TVs, they've got flat screen TVs, or the old little small box televisions back in the day. You can buy things to help their careers. Like I have a teacher. What is her name? Meredith. Okay. Meredith is a teacher, and I bought her a chalkboard.
Oh,
and
that'll
put it
help.
in her living room because that's going to help her become a better teacher. And it does. It advances her career.
Oh, okay.
I bought the movie star. I bought her a camera so she can practice in front of the camera.
Can you buy her I keep wanting to make it dark, but because I'm like,
You can make it
get
dark.
Can you buy her plastic surgery?
No, maybe. I bet you in the desktop version you can, because I've seen it. You can do all kinds of things with
Other
their looks
things.
and their features. That one,
Okay.
And I haven't started that one yet because I know I'm going to do it this summer because I'm off in the summers. My husband's a teacher, so I take that time off from working.
Yep.
So I always have projects in the summer, and
Right.
The Sims is
gonna
one
be
of them because
it's gonna be
I know
8 to 14 hours a day.
Oh, it's going to be
Just gonna
ridiculous
check
because I
in.
know how involved I will be. I wake up, Jackie. I'm not a morning person at all. At all.
I've noticed.
At all. No, I'm out
You're
at
3
night.
in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. 3 in the morning.
Right.
But because I know I got to send people to work.
Yeah.
I've been setting up my alarm clock on my phone, on my iPhone. It goes off. I go, okay, I got to send Lachlan. He's an athlete. I got to send Lachlan Baker.
You got to go to the gym or something?
No, he has to go. I think he's not an Olympian now, so he has to go to work and work out or whatever he's doing.
Right.
And then I've got 2 athletes. They got to get up and they go to work at 8 in the morning.
Okay.
So I should have,
and it's in real time.
I should have thought this out because you can make it whatever time. They give you options. I
Right, you could set it for whatever noon is in Pacific time.
Right, but I messed up. I totally messed it up. So
you set it for
I've got 2
Pacific
people
time.
that got to be to work at 8 o'clock every day, and I can't change it. I'm like, dang it. So I got that, and then I've got a mayor. He has to be to work at noon. That's pretty cool
Yeah.
because
Pretty
most
sweet job
politicians they don't go to.
being a mayor.
But then I've got 2 musicians. They work at night
Okay, so you got to make sure they go to work at 7.
at the studio, and they got to
Right.
go on the road and do gigs. And they each have a Toyota gave us a guitar that
Okay.
they can practice on. That's the other cool thing about The Sims. They'll announce new products that one of their sponsors has. For example, Adidas had a new sports line for the men and women. Cost $3.99. It does cost if you want to buy it.
That's to purchase in game. That's
In-game,
where you
yeah.
spend $1 on something, or
Yeah.
you spend $5 for this.
Right, and you get this whole wardrobe of shorts.
Did you spend $3.99?
Oh, hey, yeah. It's limited edition. You're damn right I spent $3.99. It was limited edition because it only lasts for a while. But now I'm learning, just like in the real world, things go on sale.
Ah,
So if I wait, that stuff will be 50% off.
right.
I bought an aquarium for 99 cents, a fish aquarium.
Right.
Put it at my fire chief's house. It's the coolest thing. Got little, and he gets to, he's a fire chief.
Sure.
He gets to feed the fish. And they even have an option where you can just stare at the fish.
Yeah.
For 5 hours. I'm going to put that in Dexter's house.
I was going to say that is a Dexter organizational moment. What? Okay, so
Oh, and they
when
plant food too, by the way. They plant. That's what Sims do a lot.
Are they a lot of farmers? There's a lot of
they
they're
are
producing
all farmers.
food.
They grow beans. They grow pumpkins, corn. The most basic thing you can grow that takes 30 seconds to plant is bell peppers.
Okay.
They grow that, and you got it. You
I have
always
2 bell
planting.
pepper plants.
Yeah.
Back it took me about 30 seconds each to plant them.
And it's great because the more you plant, they sell their vegetables, and that's how they make more money to add things into their house.
Right, but there's 2 kinds of cash we're talking, right? There's
Sure.
in-game cash,
Right,
and then
in-game
there's
cash, the Sims cash, or
the
whatever
Sims
you call it.
cash, and then there's and then there's like the $1.99 or the $4.99
Right.
that you're spending
Those are the
to get
specials
to buy a special thing.
Yeah, because they already give you clothes, shoes. You have more than enough. You don't have to buy anything.
Much like America.
Yeah, you don't have to buy anything, and you can just actually, if you complete the tasks, you will garner money to buy the things you need. However, sometimes you might be a little impatient.
Well, that's it. That's why Andy's constantly giving me the game explanation because he's been doing a lot of Facebook games lately,
Right.
and he said, there's 2 reasons why people buy using real money, and one is because it's a special item that will not be available for long.
That's right.
And they have to buy it. And
That's
the other
right.
reason is they don't want to wait for the building to be done.
That's right.
Or whatever.
That's right. Right now, I'm at the level where we have these things called construction coins. See, they keep adding, which is fantastic for me. You will never get bored. You will
Right.
never. I want to tell those people you are genius. Because I thought I was the only
Well-played,
40-something doing this game.
Yep.
Fine. Turns out I was embarrassed to put it on Facebook because I thought my friends would be like, Tracy, what are you doing?
Right.
Turns out, no, there's tons of people playing The Sims that are my same age. And as a matter of fact,
Friends of yours?
friends of mine,
People
you
you know.
You can open up your world.
Oh, can you?
They can visit your town, you can visit their town. I haven't done that yet. Can you believe that?
I can.
That's just amazing.
That is amazing.
I mean, I feel like an old person. What will they think of next?
What will they think of next? But so when Andy first described this game to me, he said, it's kind of like a dollhouse. And I was like, what? He said, cause I played a lot of sort of Zelda and Final Fantasy and more adventure, slash and burn
type games,
games. And he's like, this is more, you get to live the daily lives of different kinds of people.
Yes.
And then you get to play dollhouse and all this stuff.
That's exactly what it is.
Did you have a dollhouse when you were a kid? Or did you play stuffed animals or any of that nonsense?
And maybe that's why I'm so hooked. Jackie, I didn't have a dollhouse as a kid. I had a Christy doll. She was the black version of Barbie.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because she looked just like Barbie, but she was black.
Oh, interesting.
Just same features and everything.
Same features.
Everything. I had that doll, but no, I didn't have
that proves? That proves that racism is foolish.
Oh, right.
Doesn't it?
It's ridiculous.
Because she's exactly the same.
I liked her, but I really didn't like her. I was like, I wanted her to have something, something different. I wanted her to represent what I looked like, and it did.
In some
it was
way,
weird.
shape, or form.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I didn't really play that, but I played. I used to play T&T all the time. That's what I did when I was a kid. I always pretended like I had people over with my stuffed animals.
Or just imaginary friends?
Yeah, I had imaginary friends, and I had a few stuffed animals. My mom said I did that all the time, and I played by myself.
Sure.
Yeah, and I love that. I think I'm playing by myself now with Sims.
Oh, that's exactly what
But your husband's totally right about that. It is like a dollhouse. And you really do control their lives. And you get so involved because I decided I didn't want these two guys to get along for whatever reason. Because I thought, well, that's what happens in life. Everybody doesn't like everybody.
Right.
So you can make them complain, be rude. There's actually options. Complain to to Ted, be rude to Johnny.
Yeah.
And they actually do that. And these little red marks come up like, they don't like each other, And the personalities are hilarious. They all have different personalities. Like some of them, my one guy, he's into sports.
Okay.
The other one of my ladies, she's a partier. And every time she completes an activity, she holds up a martini glass and she goes, I'm like, you drunk.
Right. Live it up, lady. Live it up.
She lives it up all the time. Then I have a woman. She's more peaceful. She's a meditator. So every time she finishes something, she floats in the air and she meditates.
Oh, very nice.
She's pretty awesome.
See, so it's a dollhouse, but more interactive.
Very
and they're
interactive.
helping. They're helping you imagine more stuff.
And they what I love about EA, they keep adding. That's the key. You keep me intrigued. Right now, on the edge of my town, in the corner of my screen, I never saw this before.
Right.
I see an island.
What?
Yes. There's something in the corner of my screen, and on the side, but you can.
Is there water?
Yeah, because they're surrounded by water.
Okay.
They're
you're
on
your
it's
town.
like an island or something, like and there's just water all around.
Okay.
And now I can make pools. I can build a pool for them. They all have a pool. Everybody's living good in my town. Nobody, let me tell you, nobody's getting government assistance. No. Everybody is living good in my town.
Everyone should. It's an inalienable right. Everyone gets a pool.
Everybody's living good. So really, they shouldn't really be mad. And I kind of like that. Everybody's they're all pretty happy, and they all have, right now I've got 3 infants right now.
Okay.
2 toddlers and 1 teenager.
And they age or they do not?
They do age. You make a birthday cake for them.
Okay, and that's how you age them.
You make a birthday cake, and then you hit that, and then they grow up.
So you age manually. That does not occur in real time.
No, you age manually.
Okay.
And the only thing people have been making complaints. They want people to get older.
Okay.
And right now on the iPad game, you can't. I believe on the desktop, you can't. You can make them older.
You'll have senior citizens.
Yes, you can have senior citizens. You can make them. Right now, everybody's in shape in my town. Nobody's heavy. Everybody is in shape.
And there's nobody weedy. No 98-pound weaklings.
Well, no winklings, but they're all
everybody's
in shape.
super fit,
and they all look great in their clothes.
Of course they do.
They all look fantastic. I'm like, can't somebody just? I need some flaws here. So that's why you make them be rude, or you make things complicated, because there's got to be a flaw or two somewhere. There's not. Everything's perfect.
You are the puppet master of the Matrix.
That's right. Somebody said, Tracy, it's like you're God. And I'm like, well, don't call me that, but I guess that is what it is. Yeah.
Right. There's there was some game by the Civilization guy. It was called, I think it was. I'm going to get it wrong, and someone's going to yell at their iPod. It was called like Genome, or it was by the Firaxis company. Here's what I know. I know everything around it.
Okay.
They did a game called Civilization, where you would start as an agrarian civilization.
Okay.
And move forward through the Bronze Age, the Iron Age.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah, the
Wow.
Romans. Into Western civilization. I don't know if you could go
busy.
Eastern.
That would keep you busy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a time suck. But they had, it was like, it was called like Amoeba or something. And what it was a creation game.
Okay.
And you were God. And what you were doing is you were creating life. And with the lives that you would create. And then, of course, you would boss those lives around. Because that's what everybody really
Was that a
wants to
popular
do.
game?
I don't think it ever, I think it had trouble. I think Civilization was huge.
Right.
And then Firaxis made this new Genome game or whatever it was. And, it did not go as well.
Yeah. That would kind of turn me off.
It's almost too big.
Yeah, it is. When just you explaining it to me, I'm like, that's
Yeah.
just too much you'd have to go through.
Right. The Sims one, they sell you a small game, which is 2 people or a person.
Right.
And then 3 years later, you have 22 people that are responsible for you. Like, do you think you could quit?
Jackie, it's so funny. I told your husband yesterday we were having coffee, and all I did was talk to him about this game. I'm like, Tracy, you got to stop talking about this game. I said to Andy, I said, I said I was dreaming, and I woke up, and I was dreaming about The Sims, and I woke up and I thought, I may play this game until I die.
Wow. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that's nerdum. It's the truth.
But that's
it is
it.
my one.
That's it.
I don't have a lot of things, the guilty pleasure. That's my guilty pleasure.
Right.
And I want people to know I do read. I
Right.
do read.
Right, you do.
And I write jokes.
Right,
So
and you
I'm
go
intelligent.
outside,
Yes,
right?
I do go outside. We
The
do
graphics
things.
are great outside. Have you ever heard Matt Weinhold do that joke? I
No.
mention it every 3 or 4 episodes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, I mean, you do all the other things.
But listen, I take my Sims with me wherever I go. So it's when I'm outside, hey, when I'm having 1 second, I gotta send these people to the bathroom. That's the other thing.
you have to send them to the bathroom?
Because if you don't, after a while, they all have these things they have to do. They have to eat. They have to clean themselves.
Okay.
They have to use the bathroom. They have to be creative and do lifestyle things. You guys, they got to stay busy.
Oh, they have to take an artist date.
Yeah, they have to go out and plant. They have to go and have conversations. Oh, and there's even a couple little bubbles for conversation so they can talk. They want you to still interact.
They have to communicate.
They have to communicate.
All right.
So if you're not doing those things, you'll see on their little bar below their names what they're lacking and what they need.
Okay.
Yes. And earlier
kidney
Sims.
failure is a sign that they're not going to the bathroom often
Well,
enough.
earlier Sims, they would look at you in the screen and then go, hey.
And that's it?
Like, I gotta go. They would look at you, and if you wouldn't take them to the bathroom, they'd go, whatever you wanted them to do, they wouldn't do it.
They would only do the thing that they needed
At that
to do.
time, it was like they were controlling you.
Right.
But now in this game, you get a chance to see where they are. And I go, okay, she's going to need to go to the bathroom soon. So I send them to the bathroom, because if you don't, you'll come back and they will pee on themselves.
Yeah.
There's a big puddle, right? I'm not kidding you.
And then who cleans that up?
They do.
They got to clean it
It's
up?
funny too, because they'll be trembling and shaking, and they put their hands down over their crotch, and then they go. And then after they go, you would think in real time, that happened to you. You'd be like, oh my God, I got to clean myself. They go, they're like, woo, and they're happy, and they walk on. And you're like, wait a minute, you got to come back and clean that, and you got to take a shower.
Right.
So I come back, and you touch it, and they clean it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to virtually touch their urine.
That's right. And they go back
Which
and
is
clean
why
it.
you want to send them to the
But
bathroom.
people complained about it because they thought it was gross.
Instead of
really?
hilarious.
So they created a pee cleaner.
What's a pee cleaner?
I haven't used it yet because it costs $777,000, and I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. That's too much money. So I'm going to wait until I've got like $1 million and like 200,000 or something like that. So I'm going to wait. And because I want to buy another house, because I'm moving in another guy, and he's going to have a mansion.
Oh,
and I actually get to design that, because some of the houses are already pre-designed.
Sure.
They've got like a standard townhouse. They've got a studio house.
Okay.
They got a mansion. Mm-hmm. They've got even like a computer nerd type house.
Oh, like a lair?
Yeah. They have a Lego house.
Oh.
They have a medieval castle.
Okay. That's the one
and
Andy
the
would
meal,
want.
the castle has ghosts in it.
Oh,
and
very nice.
And that's the other thing. You have hobbies. You can be a ghost hunter. You could be a woodworker.
Oh,
you could
really?
be a fashion designer. Yeah, you could.
So you have your main job, and then you have a
and
secondary.
then you have hobbies that you can do. You can be a diving person. You're good at diving. They have a local pool.
Yeah.
And everybody goes there and they go swimming and they learn how to dive.
Hey, the ice cream truck's going by.
Yes. I love the ice cream man.
A lot of things are happening. Because all the windows are open because it's hot here in Van Nuys today.
It's beautiful. It's
So
beautiful.
I could have the AC on, and then we'd have the sound of the AC. But
This
we
is
got
great.
There's a big election coming up, so we have the guy at the door. We got possibly the phone could ring at some point. Some guy was mad that the phone rang, and I went and I answered it while I had Diva Zappa talk to herself for a second. But it was fine because I just say, hey, tell a story. Well, I go hang up on this
she did.
person, and she did,
She's
or
got a
she
ton of
didn't.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has a ton of stories,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so what? Does your fire chief have a hobby?
Well, that's his hobby right now.
Oh, his fire chiefing is hobby?
Because I wanted him, because if you give them a hobby that's related to their career, you make them better at their careers. So they move up quicker.
Oh,
and they
much
make more
like in
money.
real life.
Exactly.
Right, because if you have an interest and you work towards that interest, you will get better at that thing.
And
that
how
you are
weird is that?
interested in.
That's even how I think when I'm thinking, I'll have epiphanies about my life while I'm doing
really?
their lives.
Maybe that's why they've created it.
Let me tell
To
you one
help.
epiphany I had.
Yep.
With the toddlers, I was like, oh, this little girl's so adorable. You know?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I
Yes.
started thinking, maybe I want a family.
Right,
Yeah,
maybe
and I
I
never
want a
thought,
baby.
oh, but then she's a lot of work. There's a lot you have to do. You have to keep,
You have to do more for toddlers? One would imagine you should.
In the game, they tell you, you can't leave the house. I tried to send the couple to the park. They're like, you can't go to the park. You got a kid at home. The kid has to come with you.
Right.
So one has to leave first. Then the toddler can meet me in the park. Then the other adult comes. So both the parents and their kid are in the park. You have to watch her. The toddler just walks and goes wherever she wants. You got to make sure she's not falling over somewhere. You got to keep her busy.
Right.
So I have little toys for her. She's got Legos, so she can sit for an hour and make stuff. She's got a dollhouse, and they'll say play castle for 4
wow,
hours.
that's a game within a game.
Oh yeah, she has a dollhouse.
She has a little dollhouse inside the
She's
Sims.
a little cute little dollhouse that she can play for 4 hours in. And so I'll keep her busy so the parents can go do things. Mm-hmm. She has a pool where she can play pirates in, or she can just sit in the pool and splash the water for hours.
Kiddie pool.
Kiddie pool. She has
you got to have a fence around the adult pool.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I have a fence around one of them. The other ones are just kind of open. One lady, it's funny, she has the smallest house in town, but she has the best pool.
That's perfect. Does she have any kids? Because those
Not
kids are
one.
going to have friends.
That's Meredith, and she's a teacher. She's a small house. I guess she just started, but she's got the biggest pool, and everyone comes to her house
for the party.
Because she has the best parties. I even have a tiki bar now where one of the guys or women can work the bar.
Wait, does she have a tiki bar at her pool?
She doesn't. Her friends, they have a tiki bar at their pool. Yes.
Are there businesses in what?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't even get to. They won't be able to see it, but I'm just going to show you my town so you can see exactly, because it's crazy. Exactly what I'm talking about. This is my town.
Into the mic.
Look at that. This is my town. And see, right now all these homes are making money. So you have to hit on this to get to collect your money.
Right.
Look at this. Okay, so I'll show you what I've got. So you see this goes off at night. That's a lighthouse. That's really beautiful. And what I've got here, this is a stadium for the athlete. This
Okay.
is the real estate building. Mm-hmm. This is a studio. This is the Toyota has a dealership. Everybody drives a Prius, and you can buy a Prius.
Does everybody drive a Prius because Toyota is supporting the Sims, or did you choose Toyota as your car of choice?
Well, the only thing I've seen is Toyota was the car of choice on here. And they do have like some convertibles and stuff like that, but most of the cars, the cheaper ones, are the Prius.
Okay.
So everybody has those. Look, did you see that?
I did see. There's a UFO that just went past on the screen.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you're like, the hell is it doing up there? What is it doing?
This is the boat, Jackie, right here.
Is that a casino? What is it?
It's a party boat, and if I open it up, this is where I can connect
party
with
boat.
other people.
Oh.
See, you can go to Facebook and invite them, and they
Right.
can come to your boat, your party boat, and visit
now
your
it's
town.
now it's a social media game. Not just,
now it's gotten
'cause
bigger.
You can play alone or you can play with others.
That's right.
Okay.
And they're saying I have 20 neighbors.
Wow.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
That's crazy. You don't want 20 neighbors.
No.
You need 20 people coming over to your town, crapping it up.
But you do get stuff. Okay, now how do I go back to my game here? What happened? Something happened. Oh, collect. Oh, I got to collect. Oh, look at this is new. I'm learning stuff with you. I did
Right
not
here.
realize I'm getting gifts.
You're getting
I don't know what
gifts
this
from
is
your
about.
people.
I think it's from my friends.
These are new gifts are available.
Oh,
Will be
that's so cool. They gave me gifts. I got to thank those people. But anyway, so look, this is
you were
a
raised right.
science lab. This is
Does someone work
City
in the
Hall.
science lab?
Yes, I have a few scientists in my town.
Okay.
You do need scientists, and they get telescopes at home so they
Okay.
can become better.
Okay.
And they're always on their telescope.
Okay.
Yeah. So, this is there's a store to
Maybe
buy
the
clothing.
UFO guys are in response to
That's
those
what I'm
telescopes.
thinking. Something's going to happen. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
Because now the telescope guys are like, what are you looking at? We've come to come look at you
That
because you
might
keep
be-
looking at my.
You know what? Maybe that's what it is.
I
That's
doubt
what
it.
it is. I don't know, Jackie. But then there's a this is a fine arts gallery. One of my guys is an artist.
Oh.
And what's really cool for him, for his hobby, he paints. And I have an easel in his room.
Okay.
And he goes and he'll paint for an hour every day. But it's so cool. There's a different painting every time. And I thought they were just going to make the same painting.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't notice. Because one day
For
he
years.
painted a beautiful kite.
Right.
I thought, okay, it's going to always be a kite. Now I know what he paints. I made him paint another day and I came back and it was completely something else. It was trees. It was
Right.
forests. Every day, every time he paints, there's a different painting.
Okay.
That is, to me, that's just, they've taken so much
Yeah,
time
yeah.
to actually
To
give me
create
that joy.
content.
That makes joy. That makes me look at everybody driving around. There's a bridge. It's a huge town.
It's a huge town for 22 people.
And this is what I
Where are
didn't
their
have all
houses?
this. At first, I didn't have all this. It's
Right.
gotten bigger and bigger. There's a dam. Look at that. I didn't have all that.
Oh,
the more you
right.
play and the bigger your town gets, the more things happen. These are all the houses here.
Okay. So you see them from the top down.
Yeah, you can see whose house it is.
Oh,
and then
I
you
see
just
their
click on
faces.
their house.
But
Damn spaceship again. Okay, and look at this, Jackie. You see that in the corner?
yep. That's
That was
an
never
island.
there. That's an island. So now
On
there's
the edge of your screen.
yeah, and
there's
but every
obviously
day
life.
I see it more and more. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering what that's about.
Did you ever read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I know all about isn't that Robert Heinlein? Who's that?
No,
that's not
that's
Robert Heinlein.
Douglas Adams.
Oh, okay. No, I never read that.
Robert Heinlein wrote Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So Douglas Adams wrote, it was a trilogy. There were 5 books.
Okay.
Because he's hilarious, right?
A trilogy of 5 books.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All
You
right.
get it.
I just
You get
know
it.
I got it.
You got it. Sure. You're there. And
I got it.
Right. So, but there was, because your Sims Island reminds me, there was a planet that they would all go to. There was a planet that was bad. They were bad guys because they had always been shrouded in clouds and they could not see any stars. And so they thought that they were the only people in the universe.
Okay.
And then all the clouds dispersed one day and they saw the rest of the universe and they essentially went, well, it'll have to go. And so they've been trying to kill everybody else in the universe ever since. And I was just thinking, you have your Sims Island.
Right.
UFO just
What
went
is
by.
going on with that thing?
I don't know. It's just an ad, essentially. Oh, that's my theory on it.
You think it's an ad?
I think it's a Sims ad. It's the Sims way of saying something's coming up, right?
Right. I looked it up. It said there's going to be a special mission
Sure.
that's coming up.
What are the missions?
I have no idea.
Has there ever been a mission
There's never
before?
been a mission. Now, I did look online and I saw that on the desktop version that some of the Sims are like plant people. There are plant Sims. They look green.
Okay, made out of plants
Yeah.
kind of thing? Okay.
Yeah, and you can have that. So I thought, well, maybe that might be those people.
Maybe that's a different kind of Sim coming to visit the people Sims?
Maybe.
Maybe. That's not a bad idea.
I don't know how I feel about that, though. I don't
Right.
know about dealing with alien people living up amongst my people. I don't know about that.
That seems like xenophobia.
I don't know about that.
So-
and these are all their homes, like I said. And there was something else I wanted to tell you. Oh, they had these construction coins. I didn't finish that.
Yeah.
Where it's timed. It's a time, like right here, you can see I have 30 hours to buy as many construction coins, but they have to build stuff.
You have to use them when
no.
you buy them, or
Well, I will use those points to buy stuff. The problem is I don't have enough coins yet. And what those construction coins do, add a second level to your house,
okay.
add stairs. I actually have stairs now in someone's home. They have a second level,
Yep.
elevators, and escalators.
inside the house?
Inside your house, or a fire pole. You can add a fire pole, and I still haven't figured out what that is about, but they said every time they introduce a new product, they'll tell you what it's for, and they said that fire poles will help you get to places quicker that you need to get to.
Okay. Is there a time situation?
Sometimes you do have to do some things in a time.
In a timely fashion?
Yeah, they'll give you certain tasks, special tasks up in the left-hand corner.
Maybe that's what the UFO is. It's calling it a mission, but it'll be a special task.
That's what I'm thinking, and I'll get some special points for it. Like right now, this is them they're in the woodworking place, and they're constructing stuff, and I'm trying to get more construction coins. So I've been keeping them busy for the last 24 hours. This guy hasn't been home, and.
Well, sometimes you got to work a little OT.
His wife is cool. They don't really fight. They're good.
They're good.
They are
pretty
good.
happy
That's one of the things. You can make them have fights, but nobody really complains.
Right.
I don't have any time for that. There's enough negativity in the real world, so I'm like, I just put a little bit in my Sims life because I want to make it a little realistic, but they don't have to fight. No fight.
So what are there other? So this is the game. This is the one game you play.
This
do you
is the
ever
one
play
game.
Like? Do you do Bejeweled or any? Like, will you play another?
When I'm on the plane,
Free
sometimes
Cell?
I do have Bejeweled on my iPad and my iPhone. I play a little bit, but not as much as I play
solitaire?
Sims. No, I'm not. I've never been a solitaire person.
Okay.
Never have. It's really strange. I've played it a few times, but never got into it.
Right. Never grabbed
But
it.
I've always been. I like the role playing games like that. I mean, I used to love. I used to even like Guitar Hero when it was out, and then I got bored of that. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Like someone was talking about, remember the catfishing thing, that whole catfishing. If you remember Manti Te'o, the football player from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
He had, apparently his grandmother had passed away and he had a girlfriend who passed away, he said.
Right.
And it was a big deal during the season.
Oh, right. And then it turns
and
out
he was up for the Heisman and everything. Turns out he had been, what he says, catfished. Turns out he was talking to someone online who he believed was someone else.
Right. And they were all imaginary.
Yeah.
And he had an imaginary girlfriend.
Right. Well, there's a show called Catfishing on MTV about that. That people really, I did not.
Is it a punked-like thing where people do it to people, or is it just a reveal kind of thing? This happened to me, a storytelling thing, or are they doing it to people?
They are doing it to, like, you mean, is the show doing it to people? No, they find people who have been catfished. Like, and the way it started, this guy thought he was in love with this girl online.
Right.
And when he finally went to meet her, it wasn't her.
Right.
She had made it all up.
Right.
And I guess there are people who make up profiles.
Right.
With imaginary, but they go all out. They have friends. That person has friends, and there's pictures of their friends.
So they're creating a live Sims.
Exactly. And I'm like, just play The Sims. What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you? Get a life and play The Sims, you know?
Wow. I wish we were at an hour, because that'd be the best. But we are not. That is the best. That is the best log line ever. Get a life and play The Sims.
I mean, really, like, they're so... for me, that's where, I mean, not that I would never be a catfisher, but for me, I can go into this world. I've got all these different personalities, all these different people, and I work out problems.
Right. You set up a scenario, and then the role playing goes through, and then you're like, oh, well, that's how I probably should deal with that, because the programmers said, well, this doesn't have to end in bloodshed.
No, it doesn't.
It
could be happy. It could be happy. But it's interesting, when you ask someone to marry you, when the guys ask someone, they tell you in the game, make sure you pick the right ring, because she could say no if she doesn't like the ring.
Oh, and that's the control, the ring thing.
Yeah,
is the control.
So I haven't picked a cheaper ring yet because I'm afraid.
Right.
So I make all the guys get the best diamond ring that's on there because I'm afraid she's going to be like,
Did you get an engagement ring? Just as a side note.
Yeah.
Did you? So did I.
Yeah.
I told him I wanted a 42-inch flat screen TV.
Instead?
Yeah. Because I told him, I said, I'll never break it or lose it. Especially if you bolt it to the wall and it comes out and turns like that.
No, I got it. I got the engagement ring. We do have a flat screen TV too. We got that later, but I did get the ring.
He said you can have both.
That's a good guy.
Yeah, he's very nice.
That's a good. You can't wear that flat screen on your hand.
I know, but he designed it. Andy designed it, and it's very beautiful.
Yes,
but the it's too high. It's a set up one. This is my wedding ring.
Okay.
These are based on the elven rings from the.
Oh, nice! I saw that picture. Beautiful. Yeah. I love this jacket. That is so nice.
Yeah.
And it's great that you both are so interested in all the same things like that.
Oh,
you know?
Sure. He has introduced me to many a new tree in the Dork Forest.
Yeah, my husband, his one thing is Madden. That's his one thing. He likes to play the football game.
Oh, that football.
And because he's very much into football.
Okay.
And he actually has his friends. And my husband plays for the Bears. He's on the Bears team. His buddies are on the Vikings. You know, he's got them all over. So I think we all have that little element of us of role playing. And he goes in there when he's off and goes into his world.
Now, is there a Madden game that is online?
Yeah, but he doesn't like to play because he said sometimes he ends up playing young people and they're trash talking and he gets mad.
Right.
So he. Again, you get involved.
Right.
And he loses and they talk trash to him and he's like, I'm talking to some kid.
Or it's some 13-year-old who only goes to school and can play it for 6 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so is super good at it.
They're really good at it.
Right. And will take you to town.
And that's happened to my husband. And, you know, everybody has ego. And if that bruised him, he's like, he goes, I don't want to play online anymore.
I don't want to play with them. He's going to hand my hat to me. My brother Phil plays chess online. And whenever he loses, he always, he's such a dick sometimes. He goes, yeah, well, I got to go to bed. My mom just called. Sorry.
No.
Yep. Yeah, he pretends he's like 7. And he's like, I guess you beat a 7-year-old. All right, my mom just called. I got to go to bed.
That's horrible. And
horrible.
funny, though. I do think it's funny.
So what do you think the origin of the word catfishing is? I wonder.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I never looked it up.
Remember that Dave Mordal, short-lived Dave Mordal Discovery Channel?
Yes.
It was very dork expedition kind of situation.
Right.
Where I do a dork expedition sometimes where I take the Zoom out to somebody's, like I did a train dork expedition, I did a perfume dork expedition.
Okay.
And I go to somebody's and they show me their thing that they're dorky about and we do a tour.
Okay.
And it's super fun. It's all audio, but it's usually great.
Right.
Did a coffee one. But Dave had a camera crew and Discovery Channel. So they went there were 3 women. Of course, they picked like these 3 hot ladies down in, I don't know, the bayou or something. And they did something called catfish grabbing or some damn thing.
Okay.
And they would stick their hands under a rock and grab a catfish.
Wow.
Yeah. You can get your hand bit off.
Well, yeah. A catfish? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
They just grab the thing?
They grab them and it's a sport.
Oh.
It doesn't feel like a sport. It feels like if you're genuinely poor, you're going to want to go catfishing with a stick of dynamite because you don't have time to go fishing.
So you thinking that there might be some association with that and that term?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, the most of the catfishing I know about occurs where catfish occur, which seems to be the southern part of the United States.
Well, I think there was someone who actually
ponds.
explained it on the show. There was a guest, and he said.
Oh, he defined it.
And
maybe I'll find it, put it in the notes.
Yeah, we'll have to find that. He said what it was. Like, he called it, he's like, it's like catfish. And he was just, like, it was a term that I guess they had used for years in their family.
Right.
And
then all of a sudden.
He explained it, and I was like, that's what it is.
That became the hashtag.
Yeah, but I was like, why, you don't need to catfish, just play Sims, because you'll get so involved, you won't have time to create a weird profile on Facebook or anywhere else. And you won't, and you won't harm anybody or lead anybody to thinking, you're in love with them and they're falling in love with you, which is also pretty amazing to me that these people have had relationships with these people online. One time there was somebody for like a year. They spoke to someone online for a year and they finally were going to meet and the girl was so nervous. And it turns out it was another girl just pranking her because she wanted her to stay away from her boyfriend.
Wow.
So she wanted her to fall in love with someone else so she'd leave her boyfriend alone. So she created a whole nother person. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And part of it is, I have some friends who work in reality TV. And so you see how much of this is produced.
Right.
And written. And then you see other parts of it. Because people are genuinely crazy.
They are.
And
yeah, they are. They are.
Right. And like this woman, Sharon Houston, talks about how one of her jobs she's on like Judge Judy or Judge Brown or one of the crazy.
I've heard that name. Yeah, yeah.
Like they're those small claims courts, reenactments or whatever,
right.
Where you say, I will defer to her judgment and then I won't have to pay. Mm-hmm. And if I win, I get the money or whatever. Right. Mm-hmm. And so she's one of the segment producers or some sort of, she's a rabble rouser is what she is.
Oh, so she gets the people going?
Yeah. So she has to go to each of their different, like before they start filming, she has to go and say, so he stole $200 from you? That's insane. Remember how mad you were about that? And she's like, yeah, I remember how mad I was about that. That's crazy. And you said, are you sure you lent it? I mean, you lent it to him and you didn't just give it to him? And she's like, no, I lent it to him. We knew that it was going to be. And then she'd go over to the other one and say to the guy, she gave you that money, right?
Oh.
And just light a fire under both of them. Wow. And so you wonder if that
wonder what she was like in high school, if she did that in high school.
Oh my God. She says it's draining her soul from her
yeah,
one drop at a time.
Because basically you are creating friction is what you are creating.
Right. You're creating just sad sack horribleness.
Oh wow.
And,
that's a job really, right there. I don't know how I'd feel about that one every day when I go home.
I'd feel about that one.
See,
I would not want to do that one.
That's why you can just play The Sims and eliminate all of that.
As you pet your iPad.
Yeah.
You pet it. It's so nice.
They're there.
They're there. How big is your iPad? Does it take a lot of, how much was the game? Did it cost
It's a free game.
Okay. And then.
So you get the game for free, but then what happens is, of course, you start getting hooked on the game and you want to buy stuff.
Right.
Now you really don't have to buy anything if you have the patience.
Right. You don't have to spend any money.
That's right. And when you first start, sorry, Jackie, when you first start, you don't have a big town. It takes forever to get all those things. You don't have a school.
Sure.
You don't have
That's how I felt about the podcast.
Yeah.
You first start, you don't have a lot of listeners.
You don't.
There are rangers of the Dark Forest
who
show up at
thousands.
shows.
You have thousands of listeners.
I have tens of thousands.
I mean, that's fantastic.
It's
Congratulations
exciting. Thank you very much.
Jackie. I remember when you first started this thing, and it's amazing.
And just think, there are people out there. People who are in on the ground floor of Dark Forest.
Yeah.
And it's not as lucrative as the ground floor of plastics, folks. Sorry about that. But I do appreciate your good works.
Well, I'm excited. I was just so happy to be part of it. I didn't think I had as you said, a dorkdom. And I was like, Andy's right.
Andy's right. The Sims is it.
Because I was trying to think, what else do you really obsess over like that other than like trying to...
And stand-up comedy.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but I don't look at that as
a dorkdom.
No.
Because that's your career. That's your job.
Yeah.
And you do a lot of colleges, right?
I do a lot of colleges, yeah. I do a lot of colleges.
Right now, that's most of
I would say the last 2 years, that was the most of my bookings. The last 2 years was colleges. I would try to do a club each month, but I did a nationals one year and it went really well. And
sometimes there was no time.
Yeah, if you do a good nationals, I'm not kidding you. There were months where I think October that year, I was home 3 times a month of October.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a good husband. He was cool
on
with
board.
it. He said to me, there's no way I could live like this every year. I go, well, there'd be no way I could live like this every year.
Right. Why don't we save up?
Yeah.
And then it's nice that you take those summer months off.
That's right. I have to, because I've learned I'll get burnout and I get a little resentful.
Oh,
you know? And I got to take a break. Now, most people don't have the luxury of taking 2 months.
Right.
But what I do is I try to work as hard as I possibly can, and I'm busy and I stay gone.
Yep.
And then we kind of like you were a part of that process for me, you and a few friends, Willie Miles, because you told me how to get my bills down before I went on the road, so I wouldn't have a big, payout.
Right.
Yeah,
like your nut every month was,
you would tell me
relatively.
That. Yep, I remembered that. And Willie was telling me how he does that, how he would work all year and then take some time off so he could be with his wife. Because we're married and you got to have some sense of normalcy at some point, you know? And, since he's off in the summer, he would say, look, if you get gigs, I'll come with you. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to have a summer where we go on vacation and enjoy ourselves.
Right. Let's have some time together where we just sit in our house.
Where you're not going to have to go to the airport this week.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting that Andy still drives me to the airport. At first I thought it was like a boyfriend thing. And because people would always say, yeah, my wife doesn't drive me to the airport. My husband does.
My husband drives me to the bus station. I have to, since I live in a small town, Maryville,
Indiana.
I'm an hour from Chicago and I'm an hour and a half from like Chicago O'Hare.
Okay.
But I mainly fly out of Midway.
So you have to take
a shuttle bus
right.
from Highland, Indiana, which is not far from Maryville. And my husband drives me there because that's where his school is. So he drops me off at 6 a.m.
Right.
And then, I get on that bus. That bus
so
takes me.
So do you have to go like a day early sometimes so that you can get there by showtime?
No.
Okay.
No, I just have to get up extremely early, get the first flight out. So what I do is I take the bus to the airport and get to the airport and then, I fly Southwest most of the time and get to my gig.
Southwest and Delta are the two that I'm doing.
I fly Southwest because, you don't have to pay for bags.
Right.
And I have to tell you, good story about it. Now that we're talking about Southwest, but I actually left my laptop on a flight.
Yeah.
In the overhead on a Southwest flight.
Oof.
I had to rush to my connection. You know how that's going.
Yep.
Rushing. I get on the plane and I realize as we are about to take off, I left my laptop.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's gone.
That's gone.
Well, the flight attendant told the pilot contacted the other pilot on the other plane. They went in the overhead. What? They found my laptop, and they mailed it to me. I was at Cap City in Austin. They FedExed it to me, no charge to me.
Holy smokes.
That's why I've been a loyal customer of Southwest Airlines.
You know what I like about Southwest, as long as we're dorking out about Southwest, is that everyone who works at Southwest seems in a relatively good mood.
Always. They're singing to you.
Right. They get to mess around more than other airlines. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, fine. Mm-hmm. I am going to be sarcastic, and I'm going to enjoy myself at the very least while I get to talk at you.
Oh, they're not like that one flight attendant. They got mad and went out, was drunk, and these guys are actually having a good time.
Right. They seem to genuinely, as much as you can enjoy a job.
That's right.
They enjoy their job,
That's right? And it's funny because some of them are happier than others. We had one guy on there.
Any job will drive you crazy, right?
Yeah, he was just singing and his announcements about the safety features of the plane. He had a funny way of putting it all, and we really enjoyed it. You know, that's why I love Southwest. When they got that laptop for me, that sealed the deal.
Right. That was above and beyond the Call of Duty.
They didn't have to do that.
Very much so.
And I thought I would have to pay.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right. And you're like, I will pay. Because $100 beats, $1,200.
And I've always wanted to, I always wanted to write a letter to thank them. But maybe someone will hear this that works at Southwest.
And they will nod sagely and say, yes, I'm so glad we were there for you. Excellent.
Me too. And I still have that laptop.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Because Andy will drive me, and sometimes I'll have a 6 a.m. flight because I have to get out to the East Coast.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I bet it's difficult for you guys coming from one coast to the other like that. I rarely have to fly. I will be honest. I haven't done like the West region for the colleges.
Yep.
So I've only had a few.
Right.
So I haven't experienced that. Now, I did have to fly once to Utah. I did Southern Utah University. So I flew into Vegas.
Okay.
And drove, not realizing there was a time difference.
Oh, shoot.
And also not realizing about the elevation.
Yeah.
And I thought I was about to pass out when I got to the gig. First of all, I got to the gig at the time of the gig. I thought I was there an hour early.
Right.
And they were like, no, showtime's in like 2 minutes.
Right. Good luck.
Yeah. And I was spacey because I was like, what's wrong with me? And they go, oh, the elevation. I thought I was going to pass out.
And you've been driving for 4 hours.
And I drove like crazy to get there.
Right.
So they give me granola. And some cherries.
Weird.
I go, do you have any food that I can eat before I get up? Because I thought I had an hour.
Yeah.
And they go, here's some granola and some cherries. And I just
dry granola.
Dry granola.
Fantastic.
Okay.
It's always weird because you like a moment before you go on stage to sort of, and especially if you've been traveling all day, you're like, I need to hose off and regroup.
Yeah.
And unless you want this showing up on stage out of my joke hole where I'm wearing my glasses, like when I did that Baghdad run with the Iraq show.
Oh yeah.
We drove in these MRAPs, and I thought that we would get there
and have time.
And they're like, no, we're doing 4 today.
Wow.
So we're going to get off of the thing. You're going to walk around this forward operating base or this whatever, and then you will go up on this
hot
base. Right. Well, they had air conditioning. Even the tents had air conditioning.
Oh, cool.
But they would take you in, and they would and then you would go on top of like some plywood, and then you would talk to somewhere between 600 and 60, like 60 people to 600 people.
Wow. Okay.
And then you're like, okay, now get back in the MRAP. We're going to drive to the next one. And so the first one, I was like, well, I was going to put my contacts in and comb no combing of the hair. All right then. And so every picture of me in Iraq, I'm wearing a baseball cap. And, I don't look good.
Really? You never had any time?
There was no time. Like the gigs on the Kuwait base, you had time.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, I guess.
Well, were the soldiers excited to see you guys?
Yeah, they were psyched anyway, right? Because they're just like, thank God you've come. I've been talking to this guy for like 14 months.
Yeah.
Any story that isn't about him, it's a win. It's a win. So where are you going to be in July? So are you taking July and August off?
July. Well, I'll start back in the end of August. I start doing some college shows. I'll be in Pennsylvania a lot. Pennsylvania and upstate New York this fall doing some shows.
Okay.
Out there. And I'll be adding some more club dates to my schedule as well as this year.
And then every year you do Acme, right?
Every year I do Acme. That's my favorite club. Acme Comedy Company.
It's our home club.
That's right.
It's our mutual Louis Lee, friend of the people.
And I'll be on Nick Mom Night Out with you.
That's right. We taped that together.
We taped that together in New York, and that'll be airing this fall.
Crazy boutique hotel.
Oh,
did you have that
fabulous.
problem with the slidey door that was painted black, and so I thought it was the hole to the bathroom, and I bumped into it 3 times?
The first time I kept walking into it. I'm like, what? Where's the door? Right. Oh, that is the door.
Right. Right. And the lighting was crazy.
Yeah.
There was no lamp at the desk.
It was chic lighting.
Right. It was very romantic for
it really
me and
was.
myself.
Well, it felt, you know what? It's funny coming. I've lived in the Midwest so long now, I forget. And you get to the big city, as my husband calls it. And I'm like, wow, this is schwanky. You know, little teeny light bulbs. Oh, this is schwanky.
Right. There's an awful lot of light coming out of that tiny halogen.
Right.
But most of the light I was getting was coming from Times Square, and I could not close the windows entirely. And I was like, well, this is more of Chinese waterboarding than anything else. And it was on top of that beautiful restaurant. What was that restaurant? The Blue Fin, maybe? Is that what it was called? I
think it was the Blue Fin. Yeah,
right. It's a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, it was very fancy. Is that the place we met for coffee?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I ate there 3 times until I realized that if you walk a block and a half off of Times Square, you can get a sandwich for $11.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yeah. But you know what? We were sometimes you just want to splurge, I guess, a little bit.
Totally.
And
like when I
yourself.
first got there, I was like, and I've heard that the sushi is great, but we did get there on a Sunday, so I will never eat sushi on a Sunday.
Why?
Because the fish markets aren't open.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So you don't want to eat. Okay, that's good to know.
Because then the fish is from Friday.
Okay.
That's not exciting to me.
No, that's not good.
The idea of fish
I had room service, because remember the Oscars were on that night.
And you wanted to see the Oscars.
So here I go. This is me, Midwest. Walk up to the front desk. Are you guys having an Oscar showing? Yeah, I'm in New York City.
Right. And
she goes, this is what she says. No. I mean, around me is this posh bar in the background. There's musicians playing out there,
Right.
She goes, no, people are watching it in their rooms. Like I was a goofball. Like I was like I didn't.
Right. You know that they called that the living room, by the way. They didn't call that the lounge. And their gift shop had like weird $78 scarves for no reason.
Yeah.
And by the way, the bar, which was only open from like 5 p.m. to 9.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They didn't serve coffee.
Boo. Boo, boo.
That is the correct response.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to boo the front desk lady when she said that. Because she made me feel like I was an idiot for asking. She goes, no, people are watching it.
Is there a hotel in your Sims?
No, there's not a hotel.
You should put a hotel in your town.
Well, here's the thing. On the iPad, they give you the buildings.
Oh, okay. You don't add buildings.
They add them for you, or they'll they'll tell you once you get to this level, once you have this much money, you can buy this
next building.
So that's why sometimes you get impatient because you have kids now and you need to buy things for the toddler. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry, I got to buy a kid's store. So I bought a kid's store. I've got a pet store.
Right.
You can buy dogs and cats.
And cats.
And
all right.
They
no
even
iguanas?
No iguanas. They even have a robot cat and a robot dog.
Okay.
I haven't bought that one yet. I'm not really interested.
All right. TraceyAshley.com.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being on the Dork
Jackie, for
Forest.
having me. I'm glad to be a dork.
Take care of each other out there. Okay, bye. Thanks a lot for listening to the show, everybody. You know the credits. Patrick Brady's going to fix this audio. And Mike Rickberg and Sarah Cohen sang that song in the beginning. Mike composed it. He's going to sing again in about a heartbeat, the Mexican hat dance. And Vilmos fixes the websites. Feel free to donate if you haven't donated. I'm hoping everybody gives me $100 a year. That's right. And if you don't have $100, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. It's just tell everybody you love the show. And feel free if you like to buy merch. Maybe you want a Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirt designed by Salmon Beemel Benrud, my nephew. Or you want a Brett Chambers designed Dork Forest t-shirt that is in green or brown, which is exciting. All American made, so they run big because they're made by Americans. Because while I'm willing to wear clothing made by toddlers, I'm unwilling to sell clothing made by toddlers. In other news, JackieCation.com has all of the information, including links to DorkForest.com and iTunes and all that stuff. Feel free to review the show. Feel free to buy stuff on Amazon. And thanks a lot for listening, you guys. Take care out there. Bye.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?